Uh, Today we are starting with a new chapter, which is straight line. So in that, the very first topic that we have is angle of inclination. So I think you'd have come across if you'd have learned the basic mathematics and physics. It is the angle that made by the straight line L with the positive direction of x-axis, and it is measured anti-clockwise direction. That angle is called as angle of inclination. For example, imagine that here we have the x-axis which is drawn in brown color, and let's say this is the line L. So what you can see that this line L is making some angle with the positive direction of x-axis, and you can look at the arrow. The arrow is given in which direction? Anti-clockwise direction. So this angle is going to be designated as theta, or it is called as angle of inclination. Is it okay? Now what could be the range for theta? So imagine that the line is on the x-axis, or it is parallel to x-axis. How much angle it is making? It is making 0 degree, isn't it? And then you can keep rotating this line, like you can draw something like this. It will make 90 degree. You can further draw something like this, and then you will see like it is making obtuse angle. So it can keep on going like this, and it can become 180. So we can take a case like 0 and 180, both are basically will represent the same angle. Okay, so in NCRT we will see like there is a closed bracket given at 180, but even if we consider something like it is 0 close to open 180 degree, that's completely okay. Okay, so another example, suppose a line is drawn something like this, and let's say that this angle is given as 150 degree. And now if I question you that what is the angle of inclination, is it 150 or 30? Answer it. So I hope you have answered it. Okay, so this is not 150, it is going to be what? It should be measured from the positive direction of x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction. So it is a linear pair, so this angle is going to be 30. So the angle of inclination of this line L is going to be 30 degree. I hope I'm clear. Now if the line is, as I mentioned, if the line is parallel to x-axis, we will say those lines are horizontal lines, and angle of inclination will be 0. And whereas if the lines are perpendicular to x-axis or parallel to y-axis, those are vertical lines, and the angle of inclination is 90 degree. Okay, so the next concept we have is slope. So let's say that if theta is the angle of inclination of the line L, then the tangent of the angle of inclination, that is tan theta, is called as slope, or sometimes it is also called as the gradient of the line L. Okay, so slope of a vertical line, clearly the vertical line, just now we said that angle of inclination is what? 90 degree, and we know that tan 90 is what? Undefined. So what we are saying is that for the vertical line the slope is undefined. Okay, now again if we take the previous example, what we saw that there is a line which makes 30 degree. Okay. So if somebody asks me what is the slope, so slope is denoted by small m. So m is going to be how much? Tan 30, and tan 30 is how much? 1 by root 3. So we will say that the slope is what? 1 by root 3. Is it okay? And again if we talk about the line which is horizontal, so theta is 0, so slope of a line parallel to x-axis or horizontal is going to be 0, and whereas the vertical lines the slope is undefined. Okay, now suppose if we have a situation like this, that a line is drawn something like this, and again this angle is given as, let's say this is x-axis, and let's say this angle is given as 150 degree. So if I ask you what is the slope, slope is going to be m tan 150. What is tan 150? Tan 150, so I hope you can answer. We can write it as tan 180 minus 30. Tan in second quadrant is negative, so we'll get minus tan 30, which is how much? Minus 1 by root 3. Okay, fine. Now think like this, always we will not be knowing the angles, isn't it? Right, all the time, and these angles are still okay because 150, 120, the trigonometric values we know. Is it okay? But it doesn't mean that the line will always make angles based on the information that we have. It can make any angles, isn't it? So we have another way to find the slope when 2 points are given on a line. Okay, so see like this, let's say that on this blue line there are 2 points a x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, and let's just assume that the angle of inclination is theta. Okay, now from A we have drawn a horizontal line, and from B we have dropped a vertical line. So you would have learned in 10th standard that on a vertical line the x coordinates remains the same, and on horizontal line the y coordinates remains the same. So you can take a pause and you can try to write the coordinates of C. So C coordinate is x2 comma y1. Okay, now next thing is you can see that there are two horizontal lines, x-axis and the horizontal line. So this angles will be theta because corresponding angles. So if I try to write what is tan theta will be what? BC by AC, isn't it? BC, how we can find out? So BC on a vertical line, the distance BC can be written as what? The difference of the y coordinate. So this is y2 minus y1. And on horizontal line, what is AC? Horizontal line, the distance is x2 minus x1. So we got y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, which is m. What does it mean? If somebody gives me 2 points, let's say the point 1 is 1 comma 2, and there is a point B whose coordinates is, let's say, minus 2 comma 3, and if somebody asks me what is the slope of AB, what I will do, I will write y2 minus y1. So I can write like 3 minus 2 divided by minus 2 minus 1, which is 1 by minus 3, which you can also write as minus 1 by 3. So slope we got how much? Minus 1 by 3. Is it okay? Now somebody can wonder that what will happen if the angle is obtuse, if the angle of inclination is obtuse. So you can verify, the content is written over here, that the same formula will work here also. The only thing will be what, if you come on the left hand side, right, this angle, which angle I'm talking about, the angle which this, the angle of inclination is theta, so the other angle is going to be what, pi minus theta, isn't it? And then the triangle, and you can try to calculate tan value. You will figure out that we are getting exactly the same thing, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So we can see some quick examples. Let us exclude this. See here, suppose we have a question. This is NCERT question, that find the slope of the line passing through the points 3 comma minus 2 and 1 comma 4. So that's okay, you can mark a point as 3 comma minus 2, and you can mark B as minus 1 comma 4. Now what is slope? M is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we got 6 by minus 4, which is how much? Minus 3 by 2. Now somebody can also wonder that why can we take A as point number 2 and B as point number 1? So basically it will not make any difference. You can figure out, that also will yield the same result. So other questions you can try on your own, and you can verify the answers with NCERT textbook. Okay, now I'm solving the D, making inclination of 60 degree with the positive direction of x-axis. So what is happening? A line is making 60 degree the positive direction of x-axis. Okay, so this is angle is given 60, isn't it? So you want slope. So we have another definition, that slope is what? M is equal to tan of angle of inclination. So M is equal to how much? Tan 60, which is equal to how much? Root 3. So this is the slope. Okay, the next we have is the angle between the two lines. So let's say that this blue line is, let's say, line is L1, and let's say that the blue line is, let's say, L2, and the red line is L1. Okay, so now what is happening is that we are interested in finding what is the angle between the two straight lines. Okay, so basically two angles are possible, either theta, or the other angle is going to be what? Pi minus theta, isn't it? So when we say angle between the two lines, basically we will talk about what? The acute angle between the two straight lines. Okay, so in all possible cases, unless and until the lines are perpendicular, you will always see that one angle is acute, another angle is obtuse, isn't it? So when we talk about angle between the two lines, we will talk only about the acute angle. So let's say the line L1 is making angle theta 1, again with the positive direction of x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. Sorry, and the line L2 is making an angle theta 2. And let's say the angle between the lines is what? Theta. So now from the 9th standard and all, you would have learned like exterior angle is equal to sum of two opposite interior angles. So what we can write? We can write theta 2 is equal to theta plus theta 1, isn't it? This angle is equal to sum of these two angles. So from there we want theta, so we can keep theta on one side. So we got theta is equal to how much? Theta 2 minus theta 1. All the lines you will not know theta, isn't it? So we will try to generate a formula in terms of the slope. So we can apply tan both the sides. So we got tan theta is equal to tan theta 2 minus tan theta 1. So in trigo you would have come across a formula of tan A minus B, which is tan A minus tan B by 1 plus tan A tan B. So what is tan A? Means what is tan theta 1? So tan theta 1 is the slope of the first line and tan theta 2 is the slope of the second line. So we can feed the values and we got tan theta is equal to m2 minus m1 by 1 plus m1 m2. I hope you are clear on this. So remember this formula needs to be memorized. Okay. Now what if two lines are parallel? So if two lines are parallel, then what is the angle between them? Angle is 0. So tan 0 is 0. So right hand side also numerator part has to be 0, isn't it? So what we got m1 is equal to m2. So if two lines are parallel, what we will know? We will know that the slopes are going to be equal, that is m1 is equal to m2. What if two lines are perpendicular? So angle between them will be 90 and we know that tan 90 is undefined. So right side, to make it undefined, denominator has to be 0. From there we can show that 1 plus m1 m2 is equal to 0 or m1 m2 is equal to minus 1. So what is the quick conclusion? That if two lines are parallel, slopes has to be equal, and if two lines are perpendicular, the product of the slope is equal to minus 1. So this also remember it, because we'll be using it very frequently even now, even in calculus also. So let's do some quick questions. Let's say if the angle between two lines is pi by 4 and slope of one line is 1 by 2, find the slope of the other line. So we can assume that that let slope of other line be m. So what is theta here? So, or we can call it as, let's say, m2. Theta is how much? Pi by 4, and m1 is how much? 1 by 2. So if you apply the formula, tan theta, that is equal to tan pi by 4, which is equal to modulus of m2 minus m1 by 1 plus m1 m2. What is tan pi by 4? 1. So this is equal to how much? m2 minus 1 by 2, 1 plus 1 by 2 m2. Is it okay? Now we can try to solve this. So when we remove modulus plus minus, both cases we have to solve, isn't it? So one case we can solve is m2 minus 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 times m2 is equal to 1, and the other case we can solve is minus 1, m2 minus 1 by 2 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2 m2 is equal to minus 1. Do cross multiplication quickly. So the calculation you can also do on your own. 1 plus m2 by 2, this will come this side, so we got m2 minus m2 by 2, which is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2. So we can solve this. We got m2 is equal to 3. Is it okay? Other one, basically there is no need to calculate. With logic also we can answer, but you calculate it and you will find that m2 you are getting it as how much? Minus 1 by 3. Now how I am being able to say this answer directly? Because think like this. There is a line whose slope is 1 by 2. Okay. Now there is another line which is making an angle how much? Pi by 4. So you can make pi by 4 this side also, or you can make pi by 4 this side also, isn't it? So if you make pi by 4 this side, can you realize that the angle between these two lines will be how much? 90 degree. Can you understand this? Think like this. You can take 3 fingers. Take your left hand index finger, middle finger, and the ring finger. Now what you can see, that you can position your ring finger and index finger in such a way that it will make equal angles with the middle finger, isn't it? So since these two lines are perpendicular, because the angle is pi by 4, so we can use the concept m1 m2 is equal to minus 1, and from there we got m2 is equal to minus 1 by 3. If you are not been able to get this, get into the calculation, evaluate and get the result. Okay. Now let's see another question. So the next question again is from NCERT. We have is line through the points minus 2, 6 and 4, 8 is perpendicular to some another line passing through the point 8, 12 and x, 24. If I can give a shape to this question, it is something like this. There is a line segment which is minus 2, 6 and b is 4, 8, And then we have another line which is like 8 comma 12 and x comma 24. Over here we will not have an argument like how this when this y coordinates are changing, you are drawing a horizontal line. So nowhere I'm saying that this is x axis and this is y axis, right? That shape I've just kept and just for the representation. Okay, now what they're saying is that this angle is 90 degree. So the moment I see this angle is 90 degree, the first thought should come to our mind is that m1 m2 is equal to -1. So find the slope of AB. Slope of AB is how much? 8 minus 6 divided by 4 minus of -2, which is 2 by 6, which is 1 by 3. And if I ask you, let's call it as CD. M of CD is how much? It is 24 minus 12 divided by x minus 8, which is 12 by x minus 8. Now since these two lines are perpendicular, the product of the slope is going to be how much? -1. So we can say here that m of AB into m of CD is going to be -1. So what does this gives? 1 by 3 into 12 by x minus 8 is equal to -1. 3 cancel 4, and when we do this required calculation, we got like x minus 8 is equal to -4. We got x is equal to 4. Okay. Calculation just check once, in case if I go anywhere wrong, then you can let me know in the comment box. The next we have is find the slope of the line which makes an angle 30 degree with the positive direction of y-axis measured anti-clockwise. I'll say again, you can pause the video and try to solve, and then later on come and verify. So what the question is, find the slope of the line which makes an angle 30 degree with positive direction of y-axis. Okay, no problem. Let's say that this line is making 30 degree with positive direction of y-axis in anti-clockwise direction. That's okay, no problem. So suppose if I would have drawn a horizontal line here, and if I ask you what is this angle, so you will say that this angle is 90. So then if I ask you what is this complete angle, so what we can show, this is 30 plus 90, isn't it, which is how much? 120 degree. So indirectly they are telling that the angle of inclination is 120. So what is the slope? Slope is tan 120. What is tan 120? If you know, good. If not, you must know. So we can write here how much? 180 minus 60, and we got minus tan 60, which is minus root 3. Okay, now quickly let's do 2 more problems. 2-3 more problems are there. Find the angle between the x-axis and the line joining the points, this. So find what is the slope. Slope is what? -2 minus of -1 divided by 4 minus 3, which is -2 plus 1 by 1, which is -1. So think tan of what angle will give you -1? Tan of what angle will give you -1? So many angles will come, but we are searching for 0 to pi. So answer is theta should be 3 pi by 4 or 135 degree. Okay, I might be going little quick, so if in case you are missing out, change the play speed and make it 0.5 or 0.75, and then you can listen to the discussion. The next question again we have is the slope of a line is double of the slope of the another line. Okay, if the tangent of angle between them is 1 by 3, then find the slope. So no problem, we can assume that let the slopes be m and 2m. Okay, and theta equals, theta is not given, and let's say theta be the angle between them, the angle between them. So pictorially if I have to show, let's say this angle is theta, this is m, and this is how much? 2m. Okay, so now what they're telling, the tangent of the angle. So basically indirectly what they're telling is that tan theta is 1 by 3. So this we can write as how much? 2m. m2 minus m1 divided by 1 plus m1 m2, which is 2m square. Okay, now solve again for plus and minus, isn't it? So we got 1 by 3 is equal to m by 1 plus 2m square. When you do cross multiplication, you got like 2m square minus 3m plus 1 equal to 0. I hope you can get the roots from there. Product is 2. So yes, we can write 2m square minus 2m minus m plus 1 0. We can take 2m common, so m minus 1 here, 1 minus 1 common, so m 0. We got m is equal to 1 by 2 and we got m is equal to 1. So this is one pair. The slopes can be 1 or 1 by 2. Then the alternate we have is solve for minus, isn't it? So minus 1 by 3 is m by 1 plus 2m square. When we do this quick calculation, we got like 2m square plus 3m plus 1 is 0. So product is 2 and sum is 3. You can do this on your own. So we'll get like 2m plus 1 into m plus 1 is 0. We got m is equal to minus 1 and minus 1 by 2. So this is the another pair of lines. Okay. Okay. Now again the question comes like, why we're getting like two different answers. So think again. Think. See, basically what is happening is, this is a line, okay? So what can happen is like one side, just a minute, is double the slope of the tangent of the angle between them is 1 by 3. So you can have a situation something like this, isn't it? Or you can have a situation thing like this, there is a setup. This is a setup, okay? The setup is in such a way that let's say the slope of this line is 1 by 2 and the slope is how much? The slope is, let's say, 1 and the angle between them is how much? Tan theta, and theta is such a way that tan theta is 1 by 3. Is it okay? So next what I can do, if I take this line, okay, and if I, in 3D you try to visualize, like if I rotate it, if I try to rotate it, means rotate means flip it on the other side, okay? So you can end up with a situation something like, you can end up with a situation, wait a minute, let me draw this. See, m is equal to 1 means how much angle? 45 degree, okay? And m is equal to 1 by 2 means lesser, isn't it? So there is a situation something like this, and the angle between them is in such a way that theta and theta is such a way that tan theta is equal to 1 by 3. This is one possibility, right? Now you think like this, you take the whole setup, okay, and I can flip it like this also, isn't it? Means, let me change the color, let me take it some green or black is okay, no, not black, green. So you can have a situation like if you try to draw this minus 1 will be something like this. Imagine it's passing through origin. So I'm not an art teacher. So like, okay, this is, so let's say that this is slope is how much? Minus 1. Where will be minus 1 by 2? Can you tell me whether it will be on this side of this or whether it will be on this side of this? Quickly. So without much delay, I can draw something like this, isn't it? So you'll have a situation like this, isn't it? So still this also can give you how much? Theta. So what you can see that the slopes will be what? Double. Like if one slope is minus 1 here, right, and here the slope is how much? Minus half. So you can see that still those both the conditions are holding true, that the slope is double of other and still the angle between them is how much? Theta. Okay. If this was not clear, you can leave it. By calculation you have got the answer. Okay. The next we have is, without using distance formula, show that these are vertices of parallelogram. So what is special about parallelogram? Sides are parallel, isn't it? So assume that this coordinate is -2 comma -1, this is 4 comma 0, this is 3 comma 3, and -3 comma 2. So if I ask you what is the slope of this, so we can do orally. -1 minus 0 is -1, -2 minus 4 will give -6, so we got 1 by 6. What is the slope of this one? So 2 minus 3 will give you -1, and -3 minus 3 will give you -6, so again we got 1 by 6. So you can see both the slopes are equal, so the lines will be parallel. Similarly, you can see this other sides. 3 minus 0 is 3, and 3 minus 4 is -1, so we got -3. And if you check on the other side, 2 minus 1, 2 minus of -1 is 3, and -3 minus of -2 is -1. So again we got the slope as how much? -3. So when slopes are equal, sides are parallel. If two pair of opposite sides are parallel, then it will be a parallelogram. Now we have an interesting question. Question is, find the orthocenter of triangle ABC. Okay. So first question is, what is orthocenter? You would have learned in some junior classes. So what is an orthocenter? Answer it. Okay, so I'm sure you must be knowing. So orthocenter is the point of intersection of altitudes. So I have drawn a altitude, let's call it as AD, and let's draw another altitude, let's call it as some BE, and the point of intersection of altitude is called as orthocenter. So here we can assume that let h coordinates are h comma k. Is it okay? Now if I ask you what is the slope of h, you can easily find out, isn't it? So slope of h is how much? K minus 0 divided by h minus 1. And if I ask you what is the slope of BE or BH, I hope you understand that the slope of AH and slope of AD will be same, isn't it? So let me write here AD because they are the same lines. And similarly, M of BH will be equal to M of BE. And which will be how much? You can write K minus 1 divided by H minus of -2, which is +2. Okay. Also, if I ask you what is the slope of BC? So what is the slope of BC? 2 minus 1 is 1, and 5 minus of -2 is 7. What is the slope of AC? 2 minus 0 is 2, and 5 minus 1 is 4, which is how much? 1 by 2. Now can you see here that H or AD is perpendicular to BC? So when two lines are perpendicular, so far we had only one conclusion, that product of the slope is -1. So what we can write, K by H minus 1 into 1 by 7 is -1. So we got equation like K is equal to -7H plus 7. This is one equation. And similarly we can observe that here BE is perpendicular to AC. So again product of the slope. So what you can write, K minus 1 by H plus 2 into 1 by 2 is -1. So you can do quickly, K minus 1 is -2H minus 4. This is the second equation. Linear equation in two variable. This K value you can substitute and you can solve this. So quickly if we do, we got like -7H minus plus 7 minus 1 is -2H minus 4. Send this guy this side and this guy this side. So we got 6 plus 4, 10, and here we have got like 5H. This implies we got H is equal to 2, and K value correspondingly we got like -14 plus 7, so which is -7. Okay, fine. So that's all for today. In the first lecture, the remaining part we will see in the second session. Thank you.